Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching the Arkansas Gun Guy. Today a fun video about Colts. No, I don't mean Colts in a bad way. I mean Colts as far as a small group of people who are very, very passionate about a thing. And that thing is Sig Sauer's P938. It is not the most popular gun in Sig Sauer's lineup. I'll show you that in a second. It's not a gun you'll see at your local gun store. In a world owned by Glocks and Sig 365s and 320s and H&Ks, all guns I featured, this gun by a mile gets the most views and comments of all the videos I ever post. People are very, very passionate about this gun. And I thought I'd just take a look and see, maybe look at some reasons why I think it's very popular amongst the people that know about it. And would also love to hear from you guys. Why do you think this gun is so darn popular amongst the very small group of people who do know about it? So again, it is not a very popular gun. If you go to your local gun store, you're not going to see one. You won't see many at least. And if you even get this giant Vickers guide of every Sig Sauer pistol ever made, well, not really ever made, but of all the popular Sig Sauer pistols, and there's a lot. If you open the table of contents, there are so many models listed in this giant 400 plus page book. Yet not one of those models listed is our beloved 938. So again, very small group of people know about how awesome this firearm is. Now, brief history on the firearm. It was introduced at SHOT Show in 2011, 2 years after the 238 was introduced in 2009 at SHOT Show. The 238 is a single action only firearm chambered in .380. And it looks to be a direct copy of, or a gun inspired by, a Colt Mustang. A firearm I have not seen, but it is a .380 single action only firearm also by Colt, introduced in the early to mid 80s. I went through, I think, the late 90s, early 2000s, was discontinued briefly. And then I think it came back out around the time the 938 came out. So it all started with the 238 in around 2009. But then in 2011, they introduced a slightly larger model, a little bit longer, a little bit taller, chambered in 9mm. And again, this preceded the Sig P938 by 5 or 6 years, right? So this is just a fantastic firearm that is so easy to carry. So why do I think people like it? Again, I'll give you my thoughts, but would love to hear from you guys as well, because that's how people learn, as well, by reading your comments. A couple of things I like about it. I think it's popular for people who know about guns, like guns, because it's very similar to a 1911. It's not a 1911, it's not a mini 1911. There's a couple of big differences. It doesn't have the grip safety back here. Also, it doesn't have the same recoil system. This has a dual guide rod and recoil spring, doesn't have the plunger up front. So it's different in that way. That's not really a 1911. But it looks like a 1911, single stack only, excuse me, with cocked and lock capability, with ambi safeties on there. So it very much functions like a 1911 without being one. So I think that 1911-ish is one thing that makes it so popular. The other thing is it is just so easy to conceal. It's not as big as my 365 XL. It's a little bit wider with the grips here, but this is a gun that you could actually carry in your pocket. I have a pocket holster that will fit in some pockets. They make smaller guns, like again, chambered in .380. They're a little bit easier to carry, but this does function as a pocket gun. It's also a fantastic ankle holster if you carry those. I've never tried ankle holsters, but this is a very popular model if you have if you use an ankle holster as well. And it's also super comfortable for inside the waistband carry because it is so small. Now it is a little on the heavy side because it is a metal frame. And that kind of takes me to the third and final reason I think this is maybe a very popular gun for the people who know, is the fact that it just feels like a good gun. I love my P938. I shoot it all the time. I carry it all the time. And it's just a polymer gun with a steel slide on there, and it works fine. but this gun feels better in your hand. It just feels good. Now this is the Legion model, and I'll flash across the screen here several other models that Sig makes currently. They still produce it, it's just not a popular seller for them. They have it in Emperor Scorpion finish, they have it in a two-tone finish, and they even have a model just with rubber grips on there, which I think may be the best model. Again, mine is the Legion model, and it just comes with a nice finish, a couple of extra magazines, and these fantastic sights. I love the two dots in the back with that bright green dot up front. It's a gun that is very, very, very accurate, for me at least, at 7 yards in the end. And I wouldn't be shooting this at longer distances. Just a great gun for self-protection. So I think the fact that this thing is so stylish and well made, again, you have just a metal frame that just feels better in your hand than polymer, and have all the fine details on here. You've got even just, texturing on the mag release. You've got nice texturing on the bottom here. It matches back to texturing here and here. This gun just feels way more substantial and better than a polymer firearm. So if you want to carry a firearm with class, I think the P938 could be a fantastic option for you. And again, very small group of people who are very passionate about this thing. And if you guys are one of those, I would love to hear from you. What do you love, or what do you not like about the 938? It's one of my favorite firearms and by far my most watched firearm. Again, thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please consider liking and subscribing. I appreciate it.